So what extent you are preparing for SQL, guys? Hello? Hello? Jagadish, Joshan and Sainath, can you hear me or not?
Yes, sir, we can hear.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So are you started preparing of SQL or not?
Started, sir.
Okay, what extent you learn it?
So the first classes which you are told that we have practiced.
Okay.
That's it.
So I can list out it. You can please select it. What are the things are you not comfortable? Then we can talk about those things. Okay. See. Okay. Okay. So you guys are understood select statement, right? So select, what is the use of the select, guys? To access the data from the, you access the data or records from the table or not? Tell me. So did you
Yes, sir.
understood the where class? What exactly the where class? Where will we help you to make it the condition, right? Yoshna, can you please mute your system? Okay. So here is the clause. It can help you to make the some kind of conditions, right? And and moreover, I explain you that some kind of operators less than, greater than, or equal to, not equal to, and meanwhile logical and operator, logical or operator, logical not operator. These things also you understood, right? Okay. And for example, if you want to be insert the data into the table, then we can use the insert command, right? Insert also you understood, right? Yes or no? So insert, delete, update, those things you understood or not? Now, so my intention is that for today, this particular session, I just want to introduce about some functions. And the functions is, for example, if you want to find the, so the smallest element from the record of that particular column. Okay. So min is the function. It can help you. Min is the function. It can help you to find out the smallest element from the smallest number or smallest record or smallest value from the record, or else column. So we have the max will help you to find out the biggest element, right? And here we have one more function is there, limit. So limit is nothing but to access the only some specific elements. Okay, so first 10 records, for example, if I'm giving the limit of 10, which means that from the database or from that particular table which is accessing only first 10 records only. Okay, this is the way we can mention the limit actually. Okay, meanwhile we have some kind of commands, okay, or functions, which is the count. So what is the use of the count? To find out how many times one particular element has been repeated, right? So here we have one aggregator function is there, which is the avg, that means average of the one particular elements. Okay, you have some kind of records are there, you have one particular column, I want to find out the average of that particular field. For that one we can use the average function. Okay, so here we have a sum function. With help of the sum function we can find out the sum of all elements of that particular column. Okay, so this kind of functions, this kind of things we can apply, okay, on database actually. Okay, clear or not? Meanwhile we have a like function. This is the like function, it can help you. This is the like, it's not a function, like is the command, it can help you know, to check it some particular delimiters or else regular expression, to make some kind of regular expression, or you want access some specific things to match that particular pattern or not. For that one we can use the like command. Okay, so here we have one more command is there, in command. With help of the in command, we would like to go for check it one particular element is there in this particular group or not. It can be written as the true. Basically, this like and the in can be used in the where class. Okay, clear my point? So meanwhile we have other functions also there, and between. So between in the sense, we have to mention the, here we have to mention some two elements in this particular two elements. So or between the two elements, whether your data is repeated or not. If it is repeated, then it can be written as the true. Okay, so basically these are the operators we can apply on the data. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Clear,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
we have some kind of SQL operators are there. What are the operators we seen it? What are the operators? You guys are already know it. These are the functions, min, max,
Arithmetic,
count, average.
compare.
Sum is the functions, and limit 10 is the query, and like is the, it's also operator, but it's a regular expression operator. In is also operator, between is also operator. Okay, but those operators having a special meaning. But we have some kind of arithmetic operators, which is for example for performing the addition, then we can use the plus operator, right? Okay, for subtraction we can use the minus operator. For multiplication we can use the star operator. And for dividing purpose we can use the division symbol. If you want to get the percentile, that means for getting the modulus, then we can use the, okay, modulus symbol. And if you want to be apply the bitwise AND operator, then we can use the single AND operator. And if you want to apply the bitwise operator, we can use the pipe symbol. And if you want to apply the XOR operator, then we can use the cap symbol. Okay, and meanwhile we have, some kind of here we have already. Okay, these are the arithmetic operators or bitwise operators. And you already know these things in Python programming language, yes or no? Okay,
Yes, sir.
for example, to compare any two things we can use the equal. This is the operator, it can help you but to compare the two elements. Okay, equal to. So this is the only small difference. In case of Python we are using the two equal symbols, but in SQL we are going to be using only single equal. This is less than and greater than and less than or equal to. Okay, less than or equal to and greater than or equal to. And this is the thing we are calling it a not equal. Okay, less than symbol and combination of the less than and greater than, that we are calling it same. Okay, not equal to. These operators we are calling it same logical operators. It's not logical, relational operators. Okay, and so here AND operator You can see it is and okay. So these are the arithmetic operators and bitwise operators. And here we have the some kind of logical operators are there. What are the logical operators we have it? Tell me. What are the,
And or not.
yes, there are three logical operators are there: and keyword, or keyword, and not keyword. These are the keywords or queries we can use for the logical operators in SQL. Okay. So and can be returns the true when both conditions are left side and right side. We have a two conditions. If and only if the two conditions are satisfied, then it can be returns the true, or it can be satisfied any one of the condition. Not it can be returns the true when the condition is not satisfied, and not can be returns the false when the condition is satisfied. Right. So that is the use of the logical logical operator. Not only these things, we have few more operators are there. So which are all. So all if true if all the subqueries values meet the conditions. So whenever all subqueries conditions are true, then all can be written as the true. Okay. Any is another condition or another keyword. It can help you. Any one of the subquery value can meet the condition, then it can be written the true. So here all and any is same like and are only. And can be used for to check the all the conditions of that particular single query, right? But we have subqueries concept is there. That means we can combining the two SQL queries that we are calling it say subqueries. Okay. So whenever all subqueries conditions are true, then all can be the true. If any one of the subquery is true, then any can be written as the true actually. Okay, that is the use of the okay any command. And here we have the exist true if the subquery return one or more records. So if you know if the subquery is available, it can be returns the any one of value. Okay, then exists can be written actually. Okay, like we have this kind of operators. We will use it in SQL. I hope I hope you guys are understood. Basically why I'm explaining this all things, so when you're writing some kind of queries without this knowledge, without these things, you might be thinking where and how we should use it. Okay, so you should know these all things. If you know these things, we can easily write the queries actually. Okay, in effective way. Clear?
Okay, clear.
Okay. Now let's do some examples. Understanding this min max count, these operators will use it. MySQL online compiler with a database. So you guys are need to know what are the databases are there. So which is not showing over here. So we can run it. The language for visit. Okay. This is not. MySQL online ID technical interviews. CodePad. MySQL online ID code editor for technical interviews. MySQL made the spin of MySQL server with a default database with some sample data. The schema of the default databases. So here we have some databases is there. Okay. So codepad.io. This is the one of website. So here we can execute the SQL queries. So here what we can do, there is some kind of sample database is there. Inside of it, we have the employees, projects, and department and employees. So here the relation between the scheme, this is the thing we are calling it's a schema. Okay, this is my database schema. So the employees are connected with employee projects, right? And departments are connected with employees, right? And the projects are connected with the employee projects, right? Okay, there could be projects are different table, projects are different, this is projects are different table, employees is different table, and department is another table, and employees projects are different table. Okay, but there could be a relationship between the table versus table here. Okay, so employees are having the relation through employees project. Okay, that means each and every employee is having id, this employee id which is primary key, actually primary key for the, this is employee id is the primary key for the employee table. Okay, so when this primary key, if it is giving the relation to another table, that time this employee id can be the foreign key. Now this is the employee id is the foreign key, but this is employee projects, right? That time project id itself, it's a primary key. Meanwhile, projects are the table. For the individual table, this is a project table having the some columns or records are there. By the time project id is the primary key. Okay, and department id is the primary key here. Okay, so here department id, it could be the foreign key for the this foreign key for the employee table. So this is employee and department can be uh, related to related or reference to each other with help of the foreign key only. Okay, so that we should know what is mean that primary key and what is mean that primary key, foreign key and primary key. Is there any question? What is primary key and what is the foreign key? Jyoshna, can you tell me?
So,
Huh? What is primary key? What is foreign key? So primary key means uniquely identifying the each and every record in one specific table. For example, every employee is having his own ID, right? So you're going to be identifying the employee name with employee ID or not. So every record, it's having uniquely identifying one particular record or one particular cell, that we are calling it say primary key. So the primary key which is referencing or which is giving the relation to some another table, that time the same, this is the employee ID, this is employee ID. It can be foreign key for the employee project. When you are giving this particular primary key as the primary foreign key for the another table, that time this employee table, this table and table 2 and table 1 both are related together. Now you got it my point.
yes, sir.
So foreign key helps you what? Foreign key help you for to give the relation to another table. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, see, output format having trouble seeing every result become online wrapping. Okay, so select start from employee, and so there could be showing some kind of output, something like this. So this is the editor error, actually just this is website they're saying something like this. Okay, so here we can write the query and we can run it. You will be getting output on this particular screen itself. Okay, this is coder pad. So you can sign up free. So Google, sign up with Google, and I understood. Sign up with Google and go to sources of tech. Okay, sources of tech is provided. Okay, Department of Programming. Next page. Invite your team members. Skip this for now. Okay, questions, databases. Here we have no databases are available. So create a database. So we can click on the create database and title of that. Okay, so employees or SOC is my table title of it. So the default description, okay, it's a title. SOC soft tech. It's a title. It's not a table name. Okay, soft tech. So here, some script they're already created employee, and this is the ID and auto increment. When you're mentioning the auto increment, which means that you don't need to give that ID for every time. Whatever the previous value we have it, based upon that one, automatically it can be incremented the, okay, employee ID. Okay, so here the employee ID could be the primary key. Okay, and key department ID. So department ID. So department ID is the key. So initially they are mentioning as the key. And the next one is, so we are going to be inserting some values. Okay, we are going to be inserting the approximately 5 records, and we are going to be creating the projects. Okay, projects table. So a projects table having the title of the project and the start date and the end date, what could be the budget and project ID. Okay, and for that one we are inserting some records over here, and meanwhile we creating the department, and for the department we have the department ID and okay, department name, and this time primary key is my department. Now insert into department, so we are going to be inserting the values or, okay, IDs are automatically incremented. You are not giving the IDs numbers, because of which you started with 0, automatically it can be updated. Okay. So next one is employee project. Employee project in the sense project ID, employee ID. So here project ID is my primary key, and employee ID is also, it's a key for this particular table actually. Okay. So we are going to be inserting the, so here the project ID, and so project ID we are getting the ID from the here. See, this is a project, right? So this is a project ID is the primary key for the projects. So this could be the foreign key for the employee projects. For employee projects, there are two keys are there. One is the project ID and one is employee ID. But this is employee ID and project ID can be connected with employees and can be connected with the projects. So that's the reason we have to enter manually. So this is the script by default we have it. So it can help you to create the, okay, and tables in your database. So your SOC Softtech is my database, and inside of this particular database we are going to be creating the 4 tables: employee table, department table, and projects table, employee projects table. Okay, so yes, your database has been verified and already attached to your question. If you want to make changes to your database, we can edit the database. So this is my table name, row count, and table size. So here the department is my table name, okay, and we have totally 5 rows are there, and total size it could be 16 KB actually. So this is the way each and every table and number of records and the corresponding size also which was mentioned. So this is my table schema. So here we have the field and type and null and key and default and extra, which means that uh, describe department. Department is my table, right? Department is my table. So field is the ID and which we have the name. So department having only two things, ID and name. So ID it could be the primary key. So type is integer type, and there is no null. Okay, and the key it could be the primary key, and the default value is the null. And so one more thing is that auto extra increment is there, so by default it can be incremented. And name, it could be the normal field of this department, and data type is varchar 255. And null, yes, of course it can be accepting the null. And key, we don't have any key, so that it's not showing anything. Default, it could be the null when you're not mentioning anything. Etc, we are not mentioning any kind of etc, so that it's empty only here. Okay, this is the way each and every table schema also they're explained over here. Okay, clear? Clear or
Yes,
not?
yes, sir.
Mhm. Questions after you created the database sample questions. There is codepad examples, coderpad examples are there. So medium, there are different kind of examples are there. Okay, so whatever you want to practice it, you can practice it here itself. Mm, what's next? Okay, there is a questions. So there are four questions are there. So sort the current employees at the company by who has highest salary. What is the schema for the employee table? ID name, one salary, something like this, right? So we would like to go for highest salary. So that means max salary. Employees, we want to list it. Like this, we have some kind of questions are there. Mm, read this coder first of all. This is a free tile only. This is okay, but we should have the environment, right? Okay. Okay. Um. Okay, so start. So if you want to practice yourself, here also we can work with actually. For example, SQL W3 schools. Okay, just click on this one. So what you should do, for example, you want to practice, right? So SQL. So use try yourself. See, careful observe here. So this is a MySQL database which is having the customer table, categories table, employees table, order details, order, product, shippers, and suppliers. Okay, there is multiple tables are there. So we can write the queries over here. Select to start from customer. So what is the information is there inside of the customers? So this is the customer ID, customer name, customer contact name, and this is address and city and postal code and country. So what I want to do it, I would like to go for accessing the only country which belongs to Germany. So select start from customers where country equal to Germany. So I want to access the all the records, the guy is belongs to Germany. Okay, so Germany. So this is the way. we can write the query. So we have to start from here, country. So make sure that single quotes. Now we can run it. We are going to be accessing the, so there are 91 records are there. Out of that one, okay, these are the people or belongs to Germany, guys. Okay, is it clear? Is this clear or not?
Yes.
Okay, so now I want to count it. How many people are belongs to Germany? So we just use the count function. I already told you, right? We have a count function. So with help of the count function, I can able to find out the how many records we have it, or how many fields we have it. There are 11 guys are belongs to Germany, guys. Okay. By the time we can able to give you as, okay, so count G. So see, the column name is count G and the value is 11. So this is the way we can use the as keyword. Clear? So W3 schools will help you to execute the commands as well. Select to start from, and for example, employee orders. I want to know that orders. What are the orders we have it? So 830 records are there. It's a little bit of large data set only. Okay. So from this one, this is the order ID and this is the customer ID, right? So we are working with order, right? That means here we have the customer ID, right? That means this is the order ID, this is the order table which is connected with the customer ID as well as the employee ID. Okay, which is connected with customer. This is the order which is connected with employee table as well as customers table. Okay, so I want the customer names of order IDs. You got my point. That is joins function. Joins, we should use it, but I will not explain that one. Ship ID. This is ship ID. So shipper ID. So shipper ID is also, and that means shipper also, it's a interconnected. This is order data. Okay. Order details. Select to start from order details. Meanwhile, I want to check it. What are the order details we have it? Simply we can use the order dot order table, then which is returning the order detail ID, order ID, product ID, quantity. So here I want to find the, okay, I want to find the quantity of order details is more than 10. Simply we can use the where quantity is more than or equal to 10. So whose quantity is more than or equal to 10, that particular records I want to be go for access. See, these are the guys are having the more than 10 records, right? 10 quantities, right? Okay. Now I would like to go for accessing the customer records in between the where quantity between what 10 to 20, between 10 and 20. Between 10 and 20, in between, inclusive 10 and 20. Okay, so that particular quantities we are going to be accessing. That is the use of the between command. So is there any record is more than the 20? Is there any record less than 10? No, right? In between the 10 and 20 we would like to go for access it. So I would like to return the order ID and productivity ID where the quantity is in between 10 and 20. Mm, order ID. So make sure that we have to go with some proper name. Order ID, comma, product ID. So I would like to go for accessing the product ID and order ID between who's having the quantity is in between 10 and 20. Okay. And next one is so the quantity is exactly the 10. Then what I can do it, we can use the equal symbol, right? If the quantity is 10, that particular records only we can able to access it. So when meanwhile I want to be go for accessing the quantity also, so it could be easy to whether it is really quantity is accessing is the 10 or not. Okay, wherever the quantity is 10, that particular records only we are going to be accessing it. Now I would like to go for sum of the quantities. How many quantities, what could be the sum of the quantities? Okay, when the quantity is 10, then I can use the 1810 1810 in the sense 181 records are there simply because of quantity is 10, right? So 180 into 10, it's a 1810, right? That's what. So this is the way we can use the sum function. And meanwhile I want to find the uh, smallest quantity in my database or in my order details. So one is my minimum quantity. What could be the max quantity? We can use max of quantity from the order table. So 130 is the max quantity. Clear? So count we use it, find for example sum also we use it, but for example average quantity. So we can use simply 83.8130 is average quantity. I may explain everything what I mentioned here. Min is done and count is done, average is done, max is done, sum is done. In is not done, right? And we are not done the relational operators also. Next one is and or not. These operators also we are not done. Okay. Product details in where. So I would like to go for quantities of quantity in. So here we can give you the 10 and 20 and 30. Only 10, 20, 30 records of quantities average only I want to be considered. So unknown quantity, where quantity in where class. If the quantities spelling is correct.
No, sir.
Okay. So here the average quantity of when the quantity is 10, 20 and 30. So we are able to go for accessing the 10 quantities and 20 quantities and 30 quantities, and then we can do the sum, then we can do the average of it, total number of records of this 10, 20, 30. Okay. And so by I mean sum of all quantities of 10, 20, 30 by the total number of quantities records, right, of 10, 20, 30. So that's a way we can use the in keyword, and we use it the and keyword, right? So for example, if and only if the quantity is the quantity where the quantity 10 equal to 10 or or quantity equal to for example 20, either the quantity is 10, either the quantity is 20, those particular records of average only I want to find out it. You have error instance manual cursor MySQL syntax user near entity. I missed it, sorry for inconvenience. We can run it. Known where clause. Spelling is correct. Quantity. Okay, so we are going to be accessing only the quantities of 10 and 20 only. Okay, meanwhile I would like to go for finding the average of quantity of when the quantity is 10, either the quantity is 20, that particular all recording sum we can able to find out actually. Okay, so this is the way we can practice it. Equal symbol, for example, not equal. So not equal in the sense, other than the 10, if you want to go for accessing the all the records, so if you run it, you would like to go for accessing all the records except 10. Okay, so you can see everything, but it is no element is there with the 10. So guys, I hope you guys are understood. Go through this particular W3 school, guys. This is the best practice for you. Okay, I recommending that this one. Here we have already table schema is there, so we just looked at what could be the schema on each and everything, and we can practice it. But tomorrow we will discuss about some other concept from the MySQL. Okay, like inner join, outer join. Not tomorrow, day after tomorrow we'll meet. Not day after tomorrow. Again, we will meet on a Friday. My Friday in the sense, the Friday night. Okay, the Friday evening we will meet it. We will finish that the advanced concepts of the SQL like inner join, outer join, unions, subqueries, and order by, group by. Okay, having these are the commands we will discuss in the Friday. Okay, see you. Bye.